Hi everyone, my name is Divit, and in today's video, I'll be giving you a complete step-by-step guide on how to create an e-commerce store that looks like this using Shopify from scratch. I'll cover all of the steps in detail, such as how we can add our products to our Shopify store so that customers can easily browse them and look at them. I'll cover the details such as how we can add our policies, such as our refund policy and our shipping policy. We'll cover how we can create shipping zones for international, domestic, and US cross-border. I'll go ahead and show you how you can customize the different pages on your store using Shopify's theme builder and all of the different sections and blocks you see here. And then I'll talk about the Shopify App Store, how you can use it to download apps to strengthen your store. So if all of this interests you, then stick around, subscribe, and let's get into today's video. Now to get started, the first thing we're going to do is create our Shopify account. So I've added a link in the description. If you click that link, you will be directed to this page where you will have access to Shopify's best welcome offer. Currently, that welcome offer includes a free trial. And then on top of that, you get 3 months of Shopify for just $1 a month, and no credit card is required. So once we have all of that in mind, let's go ahead and create our account and press the start free trial. So once you've entered your email, go ahead and set a password and press create Shopify account. Next, we're directed to this pop-up, which is just asking some information about our business. I'm just going to go ahead and skip this for now. And we're going to be directed to this page where we have our plans for Shopify. Now, you can go ahead and select your plans right now, or if you're not comfortable, you can go ahead and decide later. But it's important to note that for your Shopify store to actually go live and be shown to customers, you have to have a valid and active Shopify plan selected. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and select their basic plan, which once again, because of the welcome offer, is just $1 a month. So we can go ahead and press try basic. And once we do that, we'll be directed over here where we just have to go ahead and fill out our payment information, and we won't be charged. It's just going to be charged $1 after the 3-day free trial has ended. Next, once we've subscribed to our plan, we can just go ahead and put in our business information and press the save business address. Now, once you've completed your account creation process, you'll be directed to Shopify's dashboard. Now, on this dashboard, you have a lot of settings on the left over here, which you can customize that will change the look and feel of your store. The very first setting we're going to go ahead and change lies in our online store option. So go ahead and click that. And over here, we're going to go ahead and add a theme for our store. Now, each Shopify store is built on a theme. A theme is what gives your store its appearance. So any design changes, any brand customizations can be done on your theme. Now, Shopify as a platform offers free and paid themes. You can look at some of their popular free themes over here and press the view demo to see what it looks like. Or if you want to go ahead and take a look at their premium or paid themes, you can scroll down to where it says Visit Theme Store and select that option. So right here, we can browse all of their themes, and it's categorized by the different industries, and it's even segregated by free and paid. So if you want to look at only free themes, you can select this option. And then right here, you can choose a particular theme. And then once you select it, you can scroll down to take a look at all of the features with the theme, the reviews from other customers, and the support documentation. Lastly, you can go ahead and press the View Demo Store to see what this theme looks like in action, and even go ahead and press this option to take a look at what this theme looks like on mobile devices. If you're happy with everything, you can press the Try Theme option, and it will be live on your e-commerce store. For this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Dawn free theme that comes installed with your Shopify store, and that's the one that I recommend you choose to help you follow along with this tutorial. So once we have our theme selected, we can go ahead and customize it by pressing this button. Now, once we do that, we will be directed to Shopify's theme builder that looks like this. Now, on this theme builder, you can go ahead and customize your theme however you want. On the left, you can add a bunch of components which are available to you here through sections and blocks. So you can add things like headers, text, buttons, whatever you want. And anything you add can be dragged and dropped into your theme, which is available to you for preview in the center right here. On the right, you can go ahead and customize any of the feature settings. In this case, we chose our button. We can go ahead and change the button label, where it links to, so on and so forth. Then finally, if we go ahead and press this option over here, we have our theme settings. And these are global settings you can go ahead and change. So if you want to change the overall typography of your theme and store, you can change that over here under typography. selecting your font, your size, so on and so forth. And you can do the exact same thing for your colors. You can add your logo here for the entire e-commerce store. Anything that you want to change in bulk or for the entire store, you do that under theme settings. So once we have all of this in mind, we can go ahead and press our sections option and begin customizing our theme together. So if I scroll down, we can see this is a very blank template right now. We just have a featured product section. We have a main header section and a menu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add a couple sections. So to add a section, you just go ahead and select this option. And then here we have all of the different sections that come with Shopify. So for example, you can add multi-row, you can add text with an image, you can add rich text, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and select this rich text option where I'll basically be describing more information about what our brand is. And then after that, the next section I'm going to go ahead and add is our multi-row section where I can showcase some of our products. So once we have our sections selected, we can go ahead and reposition them however we want. So I'm going to go ahead and actually drag this multi-row on top of our rich text. And then the rich text is one of the last sections that I've put up right here. Now on top of this, I'm going to go ahead and actually add another section. Let's go ahead and add a contact form that people can go ahead and input to get in touch with us. So now we have our header section, we have our featured products, we have our multi-row, and then we have our contact section. The final thing I want to talk about over here is that within each of these sections, you can go ahead and make further customizations. So I can add rows in my multi-row. So I have 4 products now that I can showcase. I can go ahead and delete it. I can delete stuff from over here. So it's very customizable. Now, once you have all of your settings in place, we're going to go ahead and press the save option. And we're going to come back to this at the end when we actually put in some of this information. For now, we're going to go back to our Shopify dashboard and set up some of our other basic settings. The next setting I want to set up is adding products by selecting this products option. Now, when it comes to adding products on Shopify, there's 3 different ways you can do it. You can add them manually by pressing this add product option. You can import them through an existing Excel sheet. And finally, if you're a drop shipper, you can go ahead and connect your product sourcing apps and then just connect your products directly. For this tutorial, I'll just show you how to do it manually by pressing this add product option. So once we do that, we can see here we have all of the different information you can go ahead and put in for your product. So things like your title, description, any images, categories, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and actually fill this out myself and then show you what it looks like once it's all completed so you have a more visual understanding. So here we are, everyone. I went ahead and added all of my information for my product. And let's go through it very quickly together. So for my product title, I've called it Luxury Watch for Men. A pro tip over here is that you want to make sure your title has any keywords you're trying to rank for. For my product description, I just used ChatGPT to come up with it. For product media, you can have as many images as you want. I've just gone ahead and added this dummy image. Under category, I've put it under jewelry and watches. You can go ahead and choose whatever category best makes sense for you. They're all available to you right here. And then under pricing, I've given it a price of $500 with a compare at price of $999. This compare at price basically tells customers that this watch used to be $999, but now is on sale for $500. I went ahead and selected charge tax on this product. For cost per item, I've set it at $200. The neat thing over here is if you go ahead and change this to, let's say, for example, $300, we can see that the profit and margin gets automatically calculated by Shopify. Now over here, we have our inventory. So if you have a particular SKU number, you can put that in here. And then over here, I went ahead and say that I want to track the quantity. So anytime a product is sold, the available will be decreased by 1. And you can go ahead and actually change it yourself also. Finally, over here, we have our shipping. So here you can go ahead and set up a weight for your product in the different measurements you have right here. And then if you have different variants for your particular product, like for example, different sizes or colors, you can add them by just pressing this option, choosing the particular variant. In my case, I can choose dial color and I can go ahead and give it a particular color, let's say brown, and press done. And now we can see that we have another variant for my product created under the brown dial option, and I can add an image for that particular variant. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and delete it because I don't have one. And then next over here under category metafield, I'll just go ahead and delete this dial color. And here we just have age group and target gender. This metafield just basically helps you further identify what this product is about. Finally, we have our search engine listing. So this is what your product will look like on Google. So you can go ahead and actually change the title, the description, and the URL handle to best meet your needs for SEO rankings. So once you have all of this stuff set up, we can scroll back to the top. And on the right side here under product organization, we have this option called collections. Now, collections basically allow you to categorize particular products together. For example, if you're selling women's watches, sport watches, luxury watches, and you want to categorize these particular watches together, you can create collections. I'll show you how to do this in a second, but for now, any collections you create will be available to you over here, and you can associate a particular product to that collection. So for this particular watch, I've just associated to the homepage collection, and then under tags, I've just created a tag called watch so that I can better understand what this product is. Now, if I scroll to the top here, we can go ahead and actually duplicate this product and create other products that are similar to this. We can go ahead and preview it by pressing this option and see what it looks like on our actual store page. If I go back to my listing here, we can go ahead and share it on different platforms once our store is actually live. And then over here, you can go ahead and create email campaigns for this product, which I won't touch too much in this tutorial. So once you're happy with everything, you can just go ahead and save it, set the status to active, and your product is good to go. Once you've set it active, you can go back and we can see here as a final confirmation, this is what the product is. This is the status, the inventory, the sales channels, the market, so on and so forth. So once we have this completed, we can go to the collections over here. And this is what I was talking about of how you can create new categories. So if you want to create a new collection, you can just press this option and then just go through the settings here. So let's say, for example, I can call this summer collection and I can say that these are luxury watches for the summer. I don't know if that exists, but just for the sake of this example. And then here we can just go ahead and manually add products to this collection type. So I can search for my products right here by pressing browse. And then I can select this particular option, press add. And now this watch is in two collections. It's in my homepage collection and it's in my summer collection. So once you have your changes set up, you can go ahead and press save. And now you've created a new collection, which is available to you over here. So that's how you can further go ahead and categorize different products. So once we've completed this, now the next thing we're going to talk about is how we can set up our policies for our e-commerce store. By policies, I'm referring to our refund policies, our terms of service, our shipping policy, and just general information that is important to our customers. So to set up these policies, we're going to scroll to the bottom left to our settings icon, go ahead and click it, and then over here, go ahead and select the policies option. And we can see right here, we have the different policies that Shopify wants us to set up. So if we go ahead and select our return and refund policy, here, the really cool thing with Shopify is that you can go ahead and press this insert template option, and it basically generates a policy for you, and you can just go ahead and tweak it. So it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you, and you can change the details if you want. Once you have it completed, you can go ahead and press the publish option, and we can see our return and refund policy is now set up. You can do the exact same thing for your privacy policy, your terms of service, and your shipping policy. So for terms of service, I can just go over here, insert template, and then make any tweaks I want. Like for example, inserting my business address, phone number, so on and so forth. So this basically does a lot of the heavy lifting, but you do have to just make sure to tweak it to your particular needs. Once you're happy with it, you can press publish and repeat the exact same process for your shipping and contact information. So just make sure to go ahead and set up all of this information on your end, everyone. It's very important. Once we have this set up, we can now go ahead and set up our shipping zones. So to do that, we're going to go to shipping and delivery, go ahead and click this. And then right here, we can go ahead and set up exactly how much we're going to charge certain people depending on where they are geographically for their shipping rates. So we can see right here that Shopify went ahead and created these default general shipping rates for us for domestic, international, and US cross-border. Now to customize these rates, just go ahead and press this general shipping rates option. Next, here we can see we have this term called shipping zones. And basically, shipping rates exist within a shipping zone. So a shipping zone basically allows you to categorize shipping rates together for particular geographies. So in this example, we have domestic Canada, which is the shipping zone. Within that shipping zone, we have these default shipping rates created for us. And we can add new shipping rates by pressing this add rate. And here you can go ahead and choose the rate type. For this example, I'll just keep it at flat rate. And then over here for shipping rate, you can choose express, standard, or set up a custom rate. For price, we can just keep it at $0, so it's free shipping. Now on top of that, you can go ahead and add conditional pricing based on item weight or price. So you can go ahead and choose those options here. I'll go ahead and remove it, keep it at flat, and press done. Once we do that, we can see in this shipping zone of domestic, we have this new free shipping rate created. Now, similarly, we have a shipping zone for international and we have a shipping zone for US. Now, you can go ahead and delete shipping zones very easily by just selecting this and pressing delete. Similarly, if you want to go ahead and make any changes to a zone, you can go ahead and select, for example, this international zone, press the edit zone option, and then you can go ahead and choose that for this particular zone called international, if there's particular countries you want to add or remove, you can go ahead and select that right here. Okay, so I'll just keep this as is for now. So once you have all of the changes in place here, once you're happy with all of your shipping zones and your shipping rates, you can go ahead and press the save option. Now, one thing to keep in mind is we can see right here for US cross-border, it's telling us that customers in US cross-border won't be able to check out because all countries are in an inactive market. And this leads me to my next point, which is how you can choose exactly which countries you want to go after. So if we go ahead and select this go to markets option or go to the top over here and select markets, we can go ahead and tell Shopify exactly which markets we want our products to be sold to. So right now by default, they've set up Canada, international, in the United States. Let's say, for example, I want to make the United States active, which means I want to sell to the United States. I can go ahead and select it. I can press the active option here and press save. And now once this is active, I can create shipping rates for it, shipping zones for it, and make a bunch of changes where I can sell the product. So if I go back over here, we can see that all three of these particular markets are active and we can sell to them. Similarly, you can go ahead and press add market. Now for the basic plan, you can only have 3 markets that you can go ahead and put in. However, if you want to go ahead and add more markets, you can select a more premium plan and then add it accordingly. So once we have our shipping rates set up and our markets understood, the next thing we're going to do is go to our payments tab over here. Now, once we're in our payments tab, we're going to go ahead and select activate Shopify payments. And basically what this does is it allows you to collect payment not just from one particular payment method like PayPal. It allows you to collect credit cards, Visa, and a whole bunch of different options. Now to activate it, you just have to go ahead and press this button. And once you're over there, you just need to go ahead and submit some of this information about your business. Once you have your banking information set up and your 2-step authentication good to go, then you can go ahead and start accepting payments from different visas and credit cards. So just go ahead and do this on your end. Once you have your payments set up, the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is set up a custom domain for your Shopify store. Now to set up that custom domain, we're going to go ahead and press this domains option. And right now with Shopify's free trial, you get this domain, which doesn't look very professional. So we can see this is what my domain looks like. And now I can go ahead and buy a new domain or connect an existing domain that you already own. So for this example, if I just go ahead and press buy new domain, I can go ahead and choose the domain name. So let's just say my domain is called Cellini Watches. So I can just go ahead and put that in there. We can see it's available for $16. I can press buy and go through the entire process of putting in all of the information. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and ignore this. If you have a domain, you can go ahead and connect it, or you can just buy it and follow the steps. It's a very straightforward process. So once you have your domain set up, once we have our policies, our shipping rates, our markets good to go, now we can go back and press X here. We can go back to our online store. And over here, we can go ahead and begin customizing our homepage to make it look good. So let's go ahead and press the customize option over here. And when we do that, we'll be directed to our theme builder once again, which we talked about at the beginning of the video. Except this time I went ahead and filled out all of the sections and block with dummy content. And the reason I did this is because I want to show you what it looks like visually and we can learn together. So the very first change I went ahead and made was to the announcement bar, which is this little bar right here. Over here, I went ahead and added some text like free shipping for North America and 50% Black Friday discount on all watches. Now you can add as many announcements as you want by going to the left over here and choosing add announcement. And now we can see we have a third announcement and we can change the text accordingly. Now I'm going to go ahead and actually delete this. When we go ahead and click the announcement bar option here, we can see that we have this option which says rotate announcements, and we can rotate them every 5 seconds so that people don't necessarily have to click these arrows. So I went ahead and enabled that. I set it to 5 seconds, so it just continuously automatically rotates. Another change I made over here was to the color scheme. So I went ahead and chose the scheme number 3 here. Now you can go ahead and change it to 5, for example, and it changes to blue. It's very straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this at scheme number 3, and everything else is pretty good. So once I went ahead and made these changes, the next thing I did was I uploaded this logo from Canva. So you can go ahead and upload a logo by going to the settings option and the theme settings. And then here under logo, go ahead and click it. And right here, I just went ahead and uploaded my logo. Once you have your logo uploaded, you can go ahead and play around with the width. So if I go ahead and enlarge it, we can see the logo is going to be huge and not look very good. I generally like to keep it at about 60 pixel because I think that looks the best on all devices. So just go ahead and make that change for yourself. And one cool thing is once you go ahead and upload your logo, you can press this option and you can go ahead and actually tweak it. You can resize it. So if, for example, it's too large or too small, you can tweak it accordingly. You can crop it and transform it so that it best fits your particular needs and your store. Once you make all of those changes, you can go back and make sure that it looks as you want. And then you have your logo in place. So once we have our logo and our announcement bar completed, we can go back to our sections and then talk about how to change this image. So over here, I went to the image banner section. And right here on the right side where it says first image, I went ahead and uploaded this particular image. Now you can go ahead and change images very simply by pressing this change option. And the really cool thing with Shopify is that they give you a library of free images to choose from. So I can go ahead and press explore free images and then just type in something like watch, for example. And we can see these are all of the different images that are available to me. I can just go ahead and select, let's say this, for example, and we can see that the image has been changed in just one click. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and actually ignore that for now by just pressing the X option and going back to the previous image. And then once I put in my image, the next thing I did was this image overlay opacity, which I set to 60%. The higher you go on this percent, basically the darker your image gets in the background and more readable your headline and text is. I like to keep it at 60% because I think it's a good happy medium between text and image. And then for banner height, I set it to medium. If you set it to large, the picture will be bigger. So if I go ahead and show you this on full screen, this is what it looks like on large. And if I go to, let's say, for example, small, we can see that this is what it looks like with your banner at small. Generally speaking, I like to have it at about medium or large. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it over there. For desktop content position, I set it to middle center. That's the position for this particular text. So if you go ahead and, for example, say bottom center, this text will be at the bottom of your image. Similarly, if you go ahead and select top center, it will be at the top of your image. The rest of the settings over here, I just kept as is. Everything else looks good, and we can move over to the next section, which is the text. Here, I won't spend too much time. It's very self-explanatory. You can go ahead and put in whatever heading you want and change the heading size from large to, let's say, extra, extra large if you want to really show people what you're talking about, or you can keep it at very small. Again, here, I just like to keep it at large. I like my headline to be just one line. And once we have this set up, the next thing over here is your buttons. So you can go ahead and change your button label. I have it at shop all. And here where it says first button link, you can link this button to anything you want. Currently, I've linked it to all products. But let's say, for example, if you want to link it to a particular product, you can choose products. And then you can choose exactly which product you want it to link to. So right now, when people click shop now, they will go to my classic watch product. I'm going to go ahead and actually set it back to all products because I want people to click and see all of my products available. So once we have that done, now we can move over to the next section, which is our featured collection. Now, basically over here, guys, if you remember at the beginning of the video, I talked about how we can add products and create collections. Well, I went ahead and created 4 different products right here, and they're on my product store. We can see them available here. So I just went ahead and duplicated one product 4 times, and I added them to our homepage collection. So that's why you see them over here under this particular collection. So if I go ahead and select this, we can see I can change the heading to best sellers. And then if I scroll down to where it says collections, I can go ahead and choose it, and I can replace it with another collection from homepage to, let's say, summer collection, which will show a different set of products. Okay, so that's how you can go ahead and use collections to show particular groups of products. Then you can go ahead and choose exactly how many maximum products you want to show, the number of columns. So if I set this to, for example, 2, then it'll just show 2 particular products. If I set it to 1, it'll just show 1 product right here. I like to keep it at 4 because, again, it looks very good on all different devices, and I think it looks very professional. So once we have our collections set up and good to go, we can now move over to our multi-row. So here we talk about our particular products, why you should buy them, certain USPs. So I went ahead and, for example, added these different USPs and nice images, and it's very straightforward stuff, everyone. You can just go ahead and select one of your rows. You can add a picture similar to how we did with our banner image over here. You can upload one or just use a picture from Shopify. Once you have your image in place, the next thing I went ahead and did was add some dummy text, add a button label, a caption, which you see over here. And then I went ahead and linked this particular button to our homepage collection. Again, you can link it to whatever you want. You can link it to blogs, to policies, to products, to collections. Anything you want, you can choose over here. Now I went ahead and applied these exact same concepts to these other rows, which you see here. And once we completed all of these rows, I went to our next section, which is our rich text section. So here we just talk about our brand, why people should trust us and buy from us. So here there's not much to talk about. I just went ahead and actually changed the color scheme to scheme number 3 to make sure it's uniform with everything else in our website. Again, you can change it right here and the basic background will change. So once you have your scheme in place, another thing I went ahead and did was I went ahead and changed the top and bottom padding. So I wanted to give some space between the text and the actual border here. And you can do that over here by just scrolling through this. And we can see if I put it all the way low, there's no padding. So I just went ahead and added about 72 as my padding. You can do the exact same thing for your bottom padding to really space the elements out. Once we have all of this completed, I went ahead and changed the text, the heading size, and just the different things like your button text and the description. Once everything was done here in the contact form section, I didn't really make any changes. I just went ahead and changed the headline here to get in touch. Everything else is the same. Didn't really play around with the padding or scheme color. And then finally, we have our footer section. In our footer section, I just went ahead and added the scheme, which is again uniform with everything else we have here for our colors. And then right here on the right side, we can see all of the different options we can enable and disable. So let's say, for example, if I don't want to show my policy links, I can go ahead and disable this. And we can see over here, these policy links have disappeared. If I just enable it, everything shows up again. I would highly recommend you have everything enabled over here so that people can easily navigate to the different policies and pages on your website. So once everything is completed over here, you can go ahead and press the save button. And now you have a very clean and good looking homepage. If you go ahead and click a particular product, like let's say your classic watch, we can see it takes you to this particular page. And we can see that you can go ahead and further make tweaks over here also using all of the different sections and settings on the left. So once we have all of this completed and saved, we can go ahead and actually go back to our Shopify dashboard and complete the final few steps. So the next step I want to talk about is our navigation. So if we go to our navigation option here, we can go ahead and change our main menu and our footer menu. So here I can go ahead and select main menu. And then right here, we can see these are the current menu items on my home page. I can go ahead and drag them to rearrange them however I want. I can delete something by pressing this trash icon, or I can go ahead and add a new menu item like an about page and then link it to whatever page I want very easily. So that's how you can go ahead and make any changes to your main menu. I'm just going to go ahead and discard my changes. And you can do the exact same thing for your footer menu also. So once we have our navigation menu set up, we can go back to our online store option here. And the next thing I want to talk about is how you can create a page for your store So you can go ahead and select this pages option. And right now we just have a contact page created. We're going to go ahead and create the add page option here and select about us. Okay, so we're creating an about us page. We can go ahead and tweak the website's SEO. So I can go ahead and give my link about us, which is already there. And then any description about this page, you can go ahead and add. So once you have your page in place here, you don't necessarily need any content. You can press the save option and your page will be live. So once you have your page live, you can go ahead and view the page by pressing this option. And we can see it's a blank page, which we can go ahead and tweak. So if you go back to your store over here, the way that you can tweak this particular page is you go back to your online store, you press the customize option over here. Now you're back to your main theme builder. And now we can go ahead and choose the about page. I'm just going to go ahead and type in about. And now we can see this is our page available. And you can go ahead and tweak it by adding a whole bunch of headers, sections, and blocks. Okay, so that's how you can go ahead and make any changes to new pages. So once you have your pages created, your navigation menu set up, and all of the different customizations to your store completed, the final step that we're going to complete is this online store password protection, which we're going to go ahead and remove. So if you recall at the beginning of the video, I talked about how you can only go live with your e-commerce store if you have a Shopify plan selected. And that's the only way you can remove this password protection. So if you don't have a Shopify plan selected, go ahead and select one right now. And then you can remove the password protection so that your store will be available to all customers worldwide. So I can go ahead and press the remove password option. And because I have a plan selected, we can see everything went smoothly. Now your online store is open to everyone. Now, if you want to go ahead and put your password once again so that people can't see your store, you can go to your preferences option over here. And then right here where it says password, you can say restrict access to visitors with a password so that your store will be behind a password protected wall. Similarly, on the preferences tab over here, you can go ahead and put in your homepage title and your meta description. So this is very good for SEO. So I can just go ahead and call this Cellini watches as an example and say something like best men's luxury watches. So once we have all of this done, the final thing I want to talk about before we wrap this tutorial up is Shopify apps. Now, Shopify apps are incredibly powerful and add all kinds of amazing functionalities to your e-commerce store. You can browse all of the apps by selecting this apps option and then selecting this all recommended apps. And we can see that these are the different apps that Shopify recommends. If we go ahead and press the Shopify App Store option, it will take us to the actual app store where we have all kinds of different apps we can browse. So we can see we have TikTok, we have Google and YouTube. There's all kinds of apps for anything you want. You can go ahead and click on a particular app and see the exact ratings, the description, and see if this is best for you. So that's what I recommend you do. Check them out. There's a lot of free apps available. So with that in mind, everyone, that's pretty much it for this video. Now we have a full functioning e-commerce store that's completely set up from start to end. And now you can begin selling your products to the world. I hope you found this video educational. If you did, then go ahead and press the like button and share it with your friends. And if you're interested in more content like this, then consider subscribing to the channel. It will greatly help me out. On that note, everybody, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.